Hi, and welcome back to Roulette's Play Higurashi When They Cry. When we last left off, we had a little more character development, and we learned about Mion and Satoko, and just the whole class, basically. And Rena was asking us if we were busy. So why are you asking me if I'm free tomorrow, Rena?
Huh? Oh, what were we talking about?
It had been so long that Rena had forgotten. That's how long Mion had teased me.
It's just, Kei-chan, you probably can't find your way around Hinamizawa by yourself yet, can you?
This was true. I hate to say it, but if you blindfold me and spun me around 3 times like we were playing Pin the Tail on the Donkey, I wouldn't be able to tell up from down here. Yeah, I don't know how to get anywhere besides back and forth from school.
Yeah, so you see, tomorrow we were thinking that Mi-chan and I could escort you around Hinamizawa and show you around.
That would be a godsend. Frankly, I was happy about the offer, which is why I promptly didn't respond.
You'll come, of course, right?
If I'm free. Oh, I'm playing coy, apparently. You're being invited by a girl, you know. If I'm free. You're probably free anyways. If I'm free. I was being stubborn so as to not give a clear yes or no. Even though I thought it was a godsend, I am too much of a scamp to say so from— oh, such a scallywag.
Keiichi-kun, you're not free perhaps?
Why does she repeat things double at the end? While Mion and I had rather sour back and forth, Rena picked over at me hesitantly. Figuring I'd been a bit too rough on her, I just gave in. Sorry, forgive me, I apologize. I'm free.
Great!
The trepidation disappeared from Rena's face as it blossomed into a smile. Hey now. Seems like there's quite a difference how cold you are to me compared to Rena, isn't there? It seemed Mion didn't care for how rude I was to her compared to how quickly I agreed with Rena, but her being annoyed was very interesting. So I pushed Rena forward, speeding up our pace to leave Mion behind. Let's go, Rena. Maybe it should be just the 2 of us tomorrow. Leave grumpy old Mion behind.
Huh? Well, if Keiichi-kun is okay with that, then I'm the one who came up with the idea to take him around. Don't ignore me, Keiichi Maibara.
It'd be great if it was the 2 of us who could go on a picnic together. Should we bring a basket, Rena?
If we're bringing a basket, I'll make all the food, maybe.
Don't you ignore me too, Rena. I'll tell everyone that you 2 disappeared in the hotel district together. It's nice to know, despite the fact that this is a very small village that can't even have multiple classes because there's so few children, they have a hotel district. I think they have their priorities straight on the development of this village.
Well then, I'm going home right now to start making it. Tomorrow's gonna be so fun. Later, Keiichi-kun, Mi-chan, bye!
Why did she just punch out Mion in order to go make bentos? Rena bounded off like she was walking on the moon. After the dust settled, all that was left was me standing next to Mion sprawled on the ground. There was a welt on her face. You alright? There was over 2 meters between you guys.
Since you came, they've been sharper. This old geezer's body can't handle it.
Maybe it'd be easier if you stopped saying stuff that makes Rena want to hit you. Or else this might end up being Mion's slapstick comedy hour. I think that would get high ratings. What do you guys think? If that happened, the result might be fatal. Don't feel bad, Mion. You're probably the only one that can dodge your jabs.
It felt like it was her knee, though.
Could it be that we were hanging around with an unrivaled martial arts master? Little did we know that Rena was a black belt in everything. Maybe someday we'll see her debut as an extreme contact sport. I think she could go UFC. You can't lose to Rena. You need to train up and have a rematch.
Kei-chan, you should. This old geezer will root for you.
Mion and I reaffirmed our determination to discover a way to counter Rena's infallible technique. It's the small things that really create strong bonds between friends. Alright, credits. Higurashi, When They Cry. I'm guessing that's an end of a chapter, maybe? I have received new tips. We're a mixed grade. We don't have a uniform. What the hell? Hey, there's an actual proper save mechanic on this. Yay! Let's see what these tips are. I wonder if it's tips like hints or just like little background information. So Rena, we're the same age?
Yes. That's right. We're the same zodiac animal, too.
Hey now, it'd be weird if we're the same age but not the same zodiac animal. That's not true. If your birthday isn't the same, then you can have different animals even if you're the same age. Huh? Oh, Mion, you're pretty smart. We thought you were talking about the Chinese zodiac, and they were talking about the actual astrological zodiac. Well, not the actual, not the other one wasn't, but you know what I mean.
What month were you born, by the way, Keiichi-kun? I'm July.
Me too, Rena! I'm July also! Rena smirked and puffed up with pride. Hey now, what's the meaning of this? She's not planning to be all high and mighty if her birthday is a wee bit sooner than mine, is she? Don't even. It's impossible to challenge me by my birthday. I wouldn't even mind if you two bet $1 per month.
Huh? Huh? Why?
Rena panicked at suddenly being challenged to a wager. Given how panicked she is, I'm certain she doesn't have much allowance left this month. It's just sending her into a panic about something as simple as a birthday. It's just so much fun I can't help myself. That means you were born in April, Kei-chan. Right on. Too bad, Rena. I'm already far older than Rena.
Oh, I see. Then you're the same age as me-chan.
And yet you're a year behind. Well, it's just a few months. That gap will open up again soon enough. Mion snickered through her nose. Hey now, that's not something to get all high and mighty about either. Everyone is so high and mighty. As if I'm the one to talk. Now that you mention it, you're in a higher grade, right, Mion? I did mention it. Thank you. I'm glad that the main character man is listening to me. If you're into underclassmen, then I can be an underclassman from now on.
Mi-chan, you're not making any sense to me.
Just by seeing Rena's blushing face, you could tell she knew exactly what she meant by it, though. Then Satoko and Rika-chan are underclassmates. Their grade is so different, they should be in a different school, shouldn't they?
Keiichi-kun, your tastes are a bit too young, I think.
You're not making any sense yourself, Rena. I'll just grab onto her head and scruff it a bit.
Stop it!
I wondered about it before. Yeah, I was wondering why the school has different school years all mixed up. There aren't enough classrooms. Can't help it. Building is being rented from the forestry services, after all. When she says it like that, it makes sense. I've thought our school was strange for a while now. The schoolyard is gravel, there are rooms that aren't for classes, and there's some strange sort of construction machinery parked here. Why is it being borrowed? What happened to the real school? There was one here forever from before the war. It got dilapidated. They closed it down. It was probably a grand old schoolhouse. Well, because of that, the students would have to attend the school in the city, and that's pretty far though, you know? Which school would that be? Did you know there's a school if you pass by the Okinamiya train station, turn at the hospital, and head towards the pediatrics department? What? So far! I couldn't tell where that was by the location, but I understood it was pretty far from Rena's reaction. Well, that's why. The guys who didn't want to commute to Okinomiya rented out the building from the forestry services and are attending this pseudo schoolhouse here.
About half the children of Hinamizawa go here. There's quite a lot of kids that come here on bike.
Well, since they're attending this really messed up school, it'd be pretty hard for them to get into higher education.
That's not true, Mi-chan. If you study properly, you can go anywhere you want.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. Alright. I totally agree with Rena on this one.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Let's try our best.
All of you try your best. This old man will be rooting for you.
Not just us, you too. You should be preparing for exams, shouldn't you? Your future is bleak with grades like this.
Fine, just fine. If I get stuck, then I'll just mooch off Kei-chan as he works forever.
What do you mean by work forever? What do you mean?
Hey, you're too loud. Be quiet during self-study. The teacher yelled at all three of us. It was completely our fault. Satoko saw it and chortled haughtily. I stuck out my tongue in her response. It's just as Mion says, the school has nothing to do with higher education, but it makes up for that by having lots of valuable things other schools don't. Alright, so these like seem to be little side story kind of things. Like little background. So you guys let me know in the comments below if you guys want me to watch those. But I'm gonna continue on the main story for now. I took it a little too easy on the morning of my day off. I was totally late. As is pretty par for my days off. Today was the day Rena and Mion were going to show me around Hinamizawa. Oh, look at the beret! Rena and Mion were already waiting at the meeting place. Kei-chan, you're late! Sorry, the show I was watching last night was really interesting. Blame that. It was way more interesting than you two. That's your excuse for being late and keeping two girls waiting?
Mi-chan, you just got here yourself.
Last night's episode of A Day in the Life of was interesting, wasn't it? She was just as guilty as me. Rena was carrying a pretty heavy-looking handbag. What is that? Mion answered my unspoken question with a wink. That's right, Rena really did make a picnic. Kei-chan, after you left, Rena pulled out all the stops. It's not like I forced her to do it.
It was nothing, so don't worry about it, okay?
She's been like this since last night, you know? Can you take responsibility for this? It's not like I got her preggers, Jesus. Alright, I am a man after all. I will take responsibility.
Huh? Responsibility? For what? For what?
As we both turned around slowly to look at Rena, our gazes drifted downward to the massive handbag she was carrying. It didn't seem logically feasible that it would be entirely filled with lunchboxes. Except, this was Rena we're talking about here. About 2 kilos, I'd guess? When Rena was picking it up, I could see she was struggling a bit. I'd say 5.
You're exaggerating. Keiichi-kun is a boy after all. I thought he could probably eat a lot, so I made a lot, okay? Let's get going. Heave-ho!
Just from the way she was lifting it up, I couldn't believe the only things in there were lunchboxes. Correction, I say 5 kilos too. I'll help out, but all of it needs to be eaten. Won't forgive you if you make Rena sad, got it? The only thing I could do at that moment was exercise a bit to make myself hungrier. Oh, eating right after you've like swam or something like that, done a big oh, so good. You'll eat fucking anything right then. Having finished with the pleasantries, we began our leisurely stroll, a carefree walk bathed in the gentle morning sunlight. I couldn't even imagine something so wholesome existed during my time in the city. These were the boonies after all. No slovenly desk jockey trudging to work on the weekends out here. It really was a nice place, peaceful and quiet, except for our asses rambling down the fucking road. As sparsely populated as this village was, you could still run into people just by walking around. Ah, good day. Good day? Oh, you would be Maibaru-kun, I believe. My two companions exchanged greetings with everybody we ran across. All of these passerbys even knew my name. Where everybody knows your name. When did I become this famous? Past 3 people, and when all 3 of them knew me, I started to feel a bit paranoid. It's a bit sad to say. Everyone knows everyone here, so there's so few people here in Hinamizawa. So that means when an unfamiliar face walks by, they just automatically assume it's that Maibara fellow who just moved here? Yeah, that's how it works out. It was a process of elimination you can only pull off in a place like this, but it was quite effective. Does that mean that there's like strangers, you know, they're just passing through on their vacation or whatever, and they're like, hey, Maibara! And he's like, what? No, I just wanted to find a bathroom, get some gas. From now on, I'd better make sure to maintain a good reputation. The day I'm discovered accidentally gawking at dirty magazines at the bookstore, I can expect all the villagers labeling me as a lech by the next day. Hinamizawa is not to be trifled with. That's not the end of this nightmare.
Of course I know them. The first person we met was Old Man Takizo from the Makino bag shop. His hobbies are bonsai and playing the flute.
Next we met the grocer's son, Daisuke-kun. His hobby is sharpshooting, and he hopes to be an ace sniper in the future. Wow, that is a very specific hobby.
And the person we just met was Mio-san, the nurse from the clinic. Her hobbies are birdwatching and photography, which she sometimes does while she's birdwatching.
You know the names of everyone we passed by, and even their profiles? What's their blood type? What's their blood type? Seeing my surprise, Mio and Rena exchanged looks and burst into laughter. Well, yeah, we're not like the city where people hardly know their neighbors. Then let's try it out. You there, who am I?
You're Keiichi Maibara. You say some mean things, but you're actually a kind, shy person.
That's not me at all. It's been 3 weeks since you transferred here. Your hobby is taking afternoon naps. Lately, you've switched over to wearing boxers, didn't you? Alright, that's enough. That's good. We're good.
Boxers?
Enough of that. We're good. Thank you. Apparently, there is absolutely nothing you can keep hidden here. Hinamizawaza was not a place to be trifled with. Did they add extra? Did they add an extra symbol on there, or have I always missed that last one? This feels more like you guys showing me off rather than showing me around.
That's right.
We're parading you around like this after all.
Don't you think so too?
That Keiichi-kun is fitting in right here in Hinamizawa. No, they did add an extra thing in before. The population in Hinamizawa is shrinking, so the villagers welcome anybody who's new here. I thought about brushing it off with something to the effect of, "You're kidding me," but I held back. Had I ever greeted someone who just moved into a city like this before? Thinking about it made me believe what they said wasn't a joke at all. We passed another person. Of course, we were called out again to the same way. Oh my, good day. It's wonderful seeing you getting along.
This lady here is Fujishima-san. Good day.
Oh my, Maibara-kun, how wonderful for you having a lovely girl in each arm. How are you? Getting used to life here? Instead of regurgitating a prepared response, like I would have in the city, I responded with an emphatic nod. The old woman chuckled, voicing her appreciation of how energetic I was. Good! As I looked back over to Rena and Mion, they gave me a wink.
So, now then, about time to have lunch maybe? Maybe?
Rena's brilliant smile signaled the approach of an event that both Mion and I were trying to forget. We both looked at each other. I'm a man, and I will do what I can, but it's just too much. Sorry. It's fine, Kei-chan. Leave it to this old man. Mion has never seemed as reliable as she did right now. I expect no less from the class representative. Rena, if we're going to eat, we might as well go somewhere with a good view.
Oh, yes! Good idea, I agree!
Rena nodded her head happily in response to Mion's proposal. And up the stairs we go! We're gonna eat at a shrine. Cresting the top of a stone stairway, a shrine drawn straight out of my imagination appeared before us. It had worn down a bit through the years, but the fallen leaves had been swept up, giving it a tidy feeling.
This here is the Furude Shrine. It's probably the place with the best view around.
This place, be sure to remember it. On our next break, a festival will be held here. Isn't it a bit early in the season for a festival?
The Watanagashi isn't a summer festival. Long ago, it used to celebrate the end of winter.
I was embarrassed for assuming the festivals had to be held in summer.
Now then, spread out the lunchboxes, and there.
Various colored lunchboxes were placed one after the other on top of the plastic sheet. It sure did smell delicious. It was Rena's home cooking. It went without saying that it would be delicious. But is it even possible to finish all of this? Mion, it's gonna take more than a good view to get all this down, you know?
Good afternoon.
It was Rika-chan and Satoko. Why are they here? Mion grinned over at me. I see. This was her secret plan. Power in numbers. You have my thanks, Mion. Following up when all the pieces are in place is my specialty.
We just had to come because there was such a commotion. What is the meaning of this? Take a look. It's time for lunch. Buffet style. A handmade gourmet meal by Rena. I can see that much. Why have you laid out a tarp on our property?
The temple is public grounds. It's not yours.
Keiichi is right. This is everyone's property.
Rika-chan is such a good girl. Have a seat. Eat with us. After opening up a spot for Rika-chan, I promptly turned my back on Satoko.
Hold on 1 second.
Where is my spot? No spot for you and nothing for you to eat.
Don't worry, there's some for you too.
None. I'll eat all of hers.
I will not allow that. Rika!
Oh god. Fists are gonna fly.
Here, chopsticks.
Both Satoko and I leapt at the boxes, having it out with each other. Man, really, Kei-chan, you're really good at leading people on. You might have a talent for this.
Have a plate. One for me-chan and Rika-chan too.
Rena whipped out pairs of chopsticks and paper plates. Well, she came prepared.
If we don't hurry, it'll all be eaten up.
That's right. Okay. Shall we commence this battle?
Please eat a lot. There's enough for everyone.
Rena said as she opened up the thermos. Just then, I realized this lunch was made under the assumption that 5 people would be eating. It didn't change how much there was, but the implication behind it was different.
I will not allow you to have this hamburger!
Ha! Using your elbows against the rules, Satoko!
Grabbing the back of my collar is also against the rules!
It was a tough battle, blocking her with full momentum and an elbow in the opening moves. Satoko appeared to have the upper hand, but with the difference of our proficiency with chopsticks proved to be fatal and gave me the upper hand.
Oh, the last meatball!
Satoko Hojo has been bested. No. Satoko and I amiably began choking at the same time, falling backwards and spasming. Rika-chan patted me on the head to clear it, even though it was actually stuck in my throat. Seeing that made Rena blush and breathe heavily in excitement. It was almost like flowers were floating all around her. Mion advised Rena to refrain from saying anything that could get her locked up. This is how our meals usually go. I'd do anything in my power, just so things could stay like this. The intense battle calmed, and finally everyone reached a point where they would begin talking. Receiving tea from the thermos, I let out a small sigh. I do wonder why there are so few words in Japanese to praise how something tastes. Oishi, that's all you need. Isn't it because the idea of togetherness during a meal didn't begin until the modern era?
It seems that long ago, people ate in silence. It must have made the people preparing the food a bit sad, don't you think? It's probably because back then, people thought that people were busy even while eating and didn't have time to compliment the flavor.
I think that's just you.
But, just hearing that it's good makes me happy. That my effort was worth it, I mean.
She blushed a little as she said that.
It was delicious.
With absolute perfect timing, Rika-chan struck Rena with a praise. It was super effective. She looked straight at her with an expression of bewitching innocence.
Huh?
After Rena uttered an unintelligible noise, a ring of smoke raised from her head with an audible poof.
Rika-chan, I'm gonna take you home! Thank you! It was really delicious.
Rena flushed red with excitement, embracing Rika-chan and rubbing her cheek against hers so hard you could almost hear it.
To reward Rika-chan for her praise, ta-da! These are special.
2 apple rabbits. After sticking toothpicks into them, she thrust them towards Rika-chan. After Rika-chan accepted them, the mood suddenly shifted in a bizarre way. What is this, Satoko? What's with that defiant look?
Has everyone prepared proper praise to receive apples from Rena-san?
Don't push yourself. What kind of praise can you think of with your weak vocabulary?
Well then, allow me to show you.
After Satoko flashed Mion and me a defiant look, she changed the tone of her voice suddenly.
Hey, so... Rena Oni-chan's lunch? Satoko thought it was yummy too.
Satoko looked up at her poutily while talking cutesy. Wah! How is that praise? That's not even persuasion by tears, that's persuasion by cuteness, isn't it? This is a Rena limited special skill. She blushed and her head spun, waving around in circles. Don't fall for it, Rena! Stand strong! Of course, that was asking for the impossible. Rena glumped Satoko and began rubbing her cheek against her.
Cute! Satoko is so cute! Take you home!
Swish! Stab! Push! Satoko was also presented with apple rabbits. After stuffing them into her mouth, she looked over at Mion and me again with that defiant gaze. It took only 5 seconds to take down Rena. It's unfair to think she had such a trick!
If it upsets you so much, why not reward Rena-san with some praise?
Damn it! That was a dirty trick. First of all, that wasn't even praise. It was cheating, it was cutesiness, it's hacks. Satoko, you think you won with that, don't you? How about I show you guys a little something much better than your superficial gimmicks?
That sounds great, Mion. What kind of trick is it?
Keiichi-chan's gonna be the one who does it. What?
Why don't I just have you show me then?
The writhing of an old maid! The plan of attack she suggested was wicked, but it was the only thing we had to beat Satoko. After sipping my tea, I started talking very naturally and calmly. Perfectly. It really is good, isn't it? This is all freshly made, right?
No, actually most of it, almost all of it was frozen stuff.
Then which ones did you make fresh?
Well, it's embarrassing. Do I really have to say? Must I?
From the synergy of boy plus homemade lunchbox, her expression had melted into euphoria. I already know. It's this one, right? Rena turned an even deeper shade of red, the words "I can't believe it" practically written on her face.
How can you tell? That I made it?
Of course Mion had told me beforehand. It's been perfect so far. After acting like I was shy, I waited a beat. Next would be the finisher. It had your smell. Silence enveloped the area. Rena's face still completely red, frozen solid. With a small yelp, Satoko also blushed. Of course, I did too. I sure would like to try one of Rena's homemade apple rabbits. Or something. Even if this was all because I was competing against Satoko, I felt like I had crossed the line by a good 9 yards, I think. Then at that moment, whoosh! It was Tupperware container filled with rabbits.
Please eat some Keiichika. There's plenty for you.
What? Instantly, dozens of the apples were shoved into my mouth, knocking me over.
Okay, say, Keiichika.
My head was forcibly laid upon her lap, and even more apples were shoved into my mouth. While she was squealing, one apple after another was forced into my mouth. More and more apples! How about them apples, Satoko? Looks like we win. Bam! Bitch went down. Kate-chan, that was a beautiful sacrifice. How's that, Satoko? This is our complete victory, isn't it?
I can't believe it! Such trickery! It doesn't bother me at all.
Satoko ground her teeth, mortified. We did it! I claimed victory as my consciousness drifted slowly away from me, choking on apples. What a way to go. It's like an apple snoo-snoo. At that time, Rena stopped her squealing as she suddenly realized something.
Rika-chan? You're not eating it? Did the salt water make it too strong? Maybe?
Looking over, Rika-chan had pulled a toothpick out of the apple rabbit, placed it in her cupped hands, and seemed to be at a loss for what to do.
Poor Mr. Rabbit. I feel sorry for him. I want to save him.
Whee! That was the sound of blood. Oh, sorry. Whee! That was the sound of blood spurting from Rena's nose. Tonight I will take you home! She shook sporadically, her head wobbling back and forth. Then coming back to her senses, she took all the apples around me, gathered them up with a whip, and fixed them back on a plate.
Now they're all just fine, okay? Here, I'll give them to you, Rika-chan, okay? Okay?
Rika-chan raised up Satoko's hand like a referee after having that plate of rabbits shoved to her. She whispered,
"This is our victory."
So dirty! What? Come back? I just don't care anymore. Thus, my sacrifice ended up being in vain. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Give me that thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you want more content. And thank you. I really appreciate it, you guys. Alright. See you next time. Bye, bye, bye.